Tuesday, let's make sure our country doesn't get set back 50 years. Are you going to vote for Republicans who oppose common sense gun safety measures, who want to cut Social Security, cut Medicare? You've got a choice between politicians who seem willing to say anything and do anything to get power, and people who see you and know you and care about you and share in your values.
It's looking good, folks, because there's something deeply wrong with that picture. What's wrong with it? Well, it's Barack Obama being fielded there to try and defend. Where is he defending? In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's not campaigning in toss-up states. He's campaigning in what should be home territory. And he's playing defense and not doing a great job. Make matters worse, Joe Biden put his foot in it with this inspiring message to voters just ahead of Election Day.
There is no more drilling. I haven't formed any new drilling. No one's building new coal plants because they can't rely on it. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America.
It's the gift that keeps giving. Thank you, Joe. Not only is he headed for doom, but he's also making this election about climate change. Making this election about, hey, what's my solution for your high gas prices? Well, increase your gas prices even more, shut down more coal plants. Go, Joe. You're playing a blinder. What a triumph for Biden, bringing new meaning to the words out of touch. And the early indications are that there are now 6 Senate races determined to be toss-ups. Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, New Hampshire, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, which explains why they're campaigning on defense in Pennsylvania. These are the seats that will determine control of the Senate. And the House is already going their way. We'll get more on that. But one of those states, Georgia, well, early indications there. This is again breaking. Georgia early voting shatters records. Total early votes, 2.5 million people have already gone to the polls in Georgia. And that's up 500,000 people from the last time they came out for midterms. So, who's coming out to vote? Maga's coming out. That's who's coming out in a tsunami. Check this out. It's Bill Hemmer on Fox this morning laying out the current state of play with Democrats holding a very slim majority in the House, which is certain to be overturned.
218's your majority here, and Republicans feel very good about getting in that number, maybe even early on the night. We will see. In the Senate, here's your drama. 50 Democrats, 50 Republicans, simple majority is 51. What if in the Senate, we tried to put this together here, how does this race stack up right now at the beginning of the night? This is where we believe we start on Tuesday, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Dems solid in 47, Republicans solid in 49. Put the what-if scenarios into play here. Democrats take all 4 of those toss-ups. You see that? I'll go back. See gold in Nevada, Arizona, PA, and Georgia. We consider them to be legitimate toss-ups. There may be others on the map, but these are the 4 we're going with so far. Dems win all 4. Boom. They've got the majority. They keep it. Republicans take all 4. Look at where they would be at 53. But just for the sake of this argument here, let's go back to the Democrats taking all 4 of these, okay? Nevada, Arizona, PA, and Georgia. They're at 51 seats, okay? So where would the Republicans go throughout this country to try and find a way to chip down on that 51 number? Let's say, for example, here in Nevada, that's a Republican pickup. That puts you at 50-50. Let's say that Fetterman's doing better in Pennsylvania than Oz, and he holds on to that. Well, where do you go for another one? Perhaps in New Hampshire here. In the closing weeks, we see a tightening of the polling, and maybe the general, Don Bolduc, could do that. That, again, would give Republicans the majority in the Senate. Number of ways you can toss the salad.
One sec there, Bill. Let's rewind old Bill Hammer back to this scene here. 47 Democrat, Republican 53, a comfortable majority in the Senate. That's my prediction. 53 or more, but 53. And in the House, it looks like that 212 is going to jump up to something in the region of 245 for the Republicans in the House, giving them, wow, a Maga House. And not only that, I think also we're going to have a whole host of governorships coming the Republicans' way, including, believe it or not, the governorship in New York. Hey, it's another like Barack Obama playing defense in Pennsylvania. They're playing defense in New York. Why? Because it's the gift that keeps giving. This is also not just also a vote about climate change. It's a vote now about lockdowns and about people's verdict on all of that. Watch. Here's where they have been over the last weekend. Biden, look. On defense in New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois.
Final Fox News Power Rankings before Election Day show the New York governor's race tightening from likely Democrat to lean Democrats. It's some movement toward the middle there. Governor Kathy Hochul, her Republican challenger Lee Zeldin, both bringing out the big guns over the weekend. Alexis McAdams watching all that from New York City. Alexis, good morning to you.
Bill, good morning. Yeah, that's right. You can tell that this is a close race in the deep blue state of New York because President Joe Biden had to make a last-minute stop here in New York to try and help Governor Kathy Hochul get a boost in the polls. Republicans, though, say this is just a last-minute show of desperation by the Democrats here in New York City. Take a look. This is at that event last night right here in New York. President Joe Biden really trying to fire up the crowd there ahead of Tuesday's election. The presidential visit came one day after former President Bill Clinton also stepped in to help the incumbent.
New York, you've got 2 days to make sure the rest of New York knows the good that they have in Kathy Hochul. 2 days.
The latest Quinnipiac poll shows Governor Kathy Hochul with just a 4-point lead over Congressman Lee Zeldin. Crime is the hot topic in this race, which is not a surprise if you live in New York. Congressman Zeldin has focused his campaign around that surge in crime. He blames Hochul's policies for the lawlessness, confident he can become the first Republican to be elected governor in New York in quite a while.
The pollsters, they try to tell you, some of them say, like, it's a 10-point race, it's a 12-point race, it's a 14-point race. Well, why are you bringing all these people to New York if this race isn't as close as we know it actually is?
And obviously, things being that dire, these comments about coal plants being shut down don't help a bit, because the problem is that when Joe Biden tries to toss some raw meat out to the progressive mob, he alienates his exactly the kind of people he needs to vote for him.
No one's building new coal plants because they can't rely on it, even if they have all the coal guaranteed for the rest of the existence of the plant. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America and having wind and solar.
Okay, that may please progressives, but that is a tough stance in a number of states like Pennsylvania. And West Virginia's Democratic Senator Joe Manchin was incensed, saying in a statement, being cavalier about the loss of coal jobs for men and women in West Virginia and across the country who literally put their lives on the line to help build and power this country is offensive and disgusting. The White House.
And if you're looking for anybody to thank for all of this, it's the Orange Man. Because without the Orange Man's relentless and determined campaigning over the last 2 years, none of this would be happening. This has literally been built by the grassroots and by Trump, by hand, laboriously, in literally scores and scores of rallies, attracting between 10, 15, 20, 30, 40,000 people to those rallies. That is the roots and the basis of this. And of course, we're getting ready for a Trump 2024 run. In the last few days, by the way, Trump has started to refer to Ron DeSantis as Ron the Sanctimonious. And people are wondering why. Well, I think the answer is obvious, that Ron DeSantis is a little bit tired of the Batman and Robin kind of dynamic going on here and wants to stake out his piece of territory, probably by running for the presidency nomination of the Republican Party himself, even though he would probably lose that, but in order to stake out more than just a Robin character part for him in what is to be the Maga Tsunami. We'll see. I'll be on duty for the entirety of it and bringing you reports on a rotating basis as developments play out. I look forward to your company for that over the next week. All right, that's it for this edition. I'll be back with that and I'll see you soon. In the meantime, for breakfornews.com and for informedconsent.ie. This has been Fintan Dunn reporting. See you then.